welcome to Art Arts again. How are you? Are you all fine? I hope so. I really hope so. And today we're gonna talk about Artemisia Gentileschi, the woman painter of the 16th century. I didn't want to be so obvious talking about her in the week dedicated to the day against the violence against women, but in the same day, the November 25th, Maradona died, so it's so sad, but that's what makes me decide to talk about this topic, this subject, because all the day was dedicated to him, and I think it's not fair because it's just a day dedicated to us and to all the tragedies that happen all over the world. In the same day, two women were had been killed by their men in Italy, one in the north, one in the south. So we have to talk about this. And the way I choose to do it is talking about Artemisia. That is a famous and so fantastic painter. She's a Cavaggist one. She adored and knew Caravaggio, like his father, Orazio Gentileschi. His real surname was Lomi. He was born in Pisa, in Tuscany, but they lived in Rome. And in Rome, when she was so young, 19 years old, she was raped by a colleague of her father, Agostino Tassi, and her father took him in trial, and it was not so usual. So they had a very difficult relationship, I mean, father and daughter. But in this case, she was orphaned by her mother. He protected her, and he put Agostino in trial. So he had to be judged, but actually in these times she had to be judged because she had to be investigated by the Inquisition. They were all men. And the procedure was physical. So can you imagine a young girl being touched by this old man? They had to prove, she had to prove, even being interrogated under torture, that she was raped, but not only raped. What more? There was something worse than rape in itself. That was a defloration. So she was not virgin anymore, and that's what they needed to be proved by her physically, mentally, and by her words. So it was a very tough situation to her, to her father too. They had their life signed by this situation, and we have to say that Agostino was condemned. He had to do 5 years of jail, or he could choose between jail or exilium, but he chose exilium. But he didn't do just 1 day off of Rome. So he was let free, basically, and she was the one that had the bad reputation from this moment on. So she was quickly married to another painter, Antonio Schiacciati, a Florentine one. So she moved to Florence. She was admitted to the Accademia delle Belle Arti, to the Beauty Academy, Design Academy, and she was the only woman admitted. So she was very well known and admired. She was a close friend to Galileo Galilei, and she started painting for all the major courts in Italy: Genoa, Venice, Florence, Rome, Naples. Then she was called up in London. She went in London, where his father was living in this moment. His father died in London. Then she came back, and she was in these times alone because Antonio went away, and she gave him the permission to marry another woman. Her daughter was married herself, so she was alone. She was rich, and she was a painter. She opened her own art school, but she died alone in the middle of the 17th century. She was a very skillful painter. She was really admired, and she was famous for her heroines. Even in this self-portrait that I used as my cover, I added just the sign of the day against the violence against women, and she painted herself as a martyr. She used to paint herself from the beginning, from the first years of her work. We're talking about the 1612, 1613, as Judith. Judith was the girl, the Jewish girl who killed Holofernes, the head of the Assyrian army that was sieging Betulia, and in the Bible the story was well known. So it was normally painted, this kind of subject, by men. Absolutely, we have even a panel in our Duomo, in our cathedral in Siena. Francesco di Giorgio represented the city of Betulia and the enemy camp, and he's representing Judith with her sword over on her head, is going to behead Holofernes. There's nothing tragic here. It's just an act of courage, and we can see also in Botticelli, in this beautiful Dyptich that now is a Uffizi Museum, we see Holofernes is just dead, and Judith is taking his head to the city of Betulia to make everybody know that the siege has been defeated. The first painter who put violence in this scene was absolutely Caravaggio, some years before Artemisia and his father Orazio. But you can see in this representation, Judith is just staying apart from Holofernes. There's not just physical contact between these two. In the Artemisia painting, Holofernes is just under Judith. That she is using all her strength, all her physical determination to put him down with the help of the servant, and even the arms of the man can seem like the legs of a woman, okay, and blood that is just flowing down is a crucial symbol of what happened to her, the rape. She was very admired for these paintings. I saw them in an exhibition dedicated to her 3 years ago, and it was fascinating. It was in Rome, in Palazzo Braschi, and I can recommend you a book about her. Artemisia is the title. The author is Anna Banti. She was the wife of Roberto Longhi, one of the most important Italian art historian. It's an old book. It's dated 1947, but it's brilliant. It's fantastic. I really suggest you to read it. Another painter, another woman painter that was very famous in this time, so we're talking about the 16th century, was the daughter of Tintoretto, Marietta Robusti said Tintoretta, that was an helper of his father, and he was very well known in Venice, but not only in Venice. He was invited in Genova, in Paris, in London, but his father didn't want her to go away, so he made her marry very quickly with another artist, a German artist. Then they had a kid. He died at 11 months, and she died a few times later, so she died at 30 years more or less. But it's very interesting, her story and the story of her father. I can recommend another book, Melania Marzucco, The Long Waiting of the Angel. It's a fantastic book, so I recommend you to read it, talking about him, Tintoretto, and the family, especially the so loved Marietta. Another woman painter, not so well known, maybe known better than in US than in Italy, is Plautilla, is a Florentine painter. She was a nun, Plautilla Neri. An exhibition was dedicated to her in the same year, 3 years ago, the same year of the Artemisia exhibition. Is better known in US than in Italy because it's thanks to an American association, the Advancing Women Artists Association, that we have her Last Supper being restored. The painting was in an awful state, and see how brilliant and how beautiful it is now. She was so famous in Florence. Giorgio Vasari, the art historian, told us in his book then almost every family had a painting realized by her, and that her paintings were so numerous that no one could even name it or name them all. So thank you for your attention, and I have to tell you also that we have a new movie dedicated to Artemisia that is just being put in streaming now. It's available on Amazon Prime, so you can see it. The title is Artemisia, the Warrior Painter, and it's true, she was a warrior painter. So enjoy your movie, enjoy your books, and see you next time with Art Arts. Bye bye.